Welcome to an alphabet of fairies by Tales of Fae and Folk, and now we come to the letter H. In this snippet of folklore, we will look at the Hedley Kow, the Huldra, and Holzruhtlein Bonnefurlein. The Hedley Kow is a strange, bogey creature found in the village of Hedley in Northumberland in northern England. He is known as a trickster, turning himself into a switch of straw in the path of women who happen to be gathering kindling. If they should gather him up in the straw, it would become so heavy that they would have to put it down at once. At this the straw creature would scuttle away laughing. Another more dangerous form he once took was to transfigure himself into the form of two girls who led two innocent young men into the middle of a boggy patch of ground. As soon as they were in this dangerous place, the Hedley Kow, the two girls, simply disappeared. He was known to be able to mimic the voices of lovers of female farm workers and female servants, simply to torment them. He would give the local cats all the precious cream of households, and break spinning wheels, and had a habit of unravelling knitting. Huldra, or in English hidden folk, are fairy elven creatures from Scandinavia. In Iceland it is told that in the biblical times Eve was bathing her children. God spoke to her, asking if this was all of her children. At the presence of the divinity, she had hidden the children that had not yet been bathed, the dirty children. And yet, being God, he knew that these had been hidden from his sight. And so he told her that they would be hidden from the eyes of man forever. And these children and their offspring grew to be the hidden folk, the Huldra. Female Huldufolk are incredibly beautiful, as you would look at them from the front, robed in white garments, and yet turn them round and they have hollow backs and cows' tails. They love to lure young men into the mountains to be their lovers, but forever after these young men will be marred in some way, from things as simple as never being able to grow beards, to losing their senses and becoming quite mad. They are also wont to lick humans and cause deformities, and yet their singing, the Huldulat, is said to be incredibly beautiful. There are two viceroys who rule all of the Huldufolk, and once every 2 years they will travel to pay tribute to their rulers who live in Norway. Once there, they will take any vulnerable babies, the unbaptized, and leave changeling Huldufolk in their place. On the night of the new year, the Huldufolk move their homes, and should you see one doing this, they can be forced to foretell your future. Holzruhtlein Bonnefurlein is a dwarven fairy creature from Germany who fell deeply in love with a human girl and wanted her to be his wife. And this is the tale. Once upon a time there were two friends, a cowherd and a shepherd. The cowherd had a daughter, and the shepherd had a son, and these two children were the very best of friends. And as they grew older, they promised to marry each other. One day an ugly old dwarven creature appeared and asked for the girl's hand in marriage, bringing many rich and beautiful gifts. The girl's mother had no intention at all of allowing the marriage, but she stupidly did take all the riches on offer. After a time, the mother had had enough of this fairy creature hanging around. She told him no matter how much he gave them, he will never marry her daughter. He was furious. He told her that he would be returning the night following, and he would take her daughter regardless. She would only be safe from him if they could speak his secret fairy name. The family naturally were terrified. In another part of the woodlands, the shepherd's son was herding his sheep, and he happened to pass by a cave, and from this cave he could hear a voice, laughing and speaking to itself. And as he listened, he heard the voice saying, they would never find out his name. The girl would be his. They would never learn that his name was Huldruhltlein Bonnefurlein. The young shepherd remembered this and hurried to the cowherd's home, where he told them everything. The following night, along came the old creature, and to his horror, they told him his fairy name. The girl was safe. The dwarf vanished, and the two young lovers married and lived long, happy lives. I hope you enjoyed this time's telling of tales. Take care, brightest of blessings, and remember, don't play with the fairy folk, or you may end up in one of my folk tales yourself.